really see results from strength training in just 1 month? Well, in today's video, I'm going to share my experiences increasing the number of times I strength trained in the month of November and whether I reached my goal. So hello, my name is Kim and I'm on the WW Personal Points Plan, and I have followed Weight Watchers as part of my journey to lose 100 pounds and keep it off. Here on this channel, I share what I eat in a day videos, grocery hauls, and a little bit of my life as I try to balance my weight loss maintenance goals with life as a busy mom and a full-time employee. If you like that kind of content, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those notifications. I made a video at the beginning of November sharing my goals, and one of my goals was to strength train 3 times a week, which I felt was a little bit of a stretch, but totally doable. Definitely under the SMART goal system. So if you're not familiar, when you're doing really anything, but definitely when it comes to fitness and weight loss, your goal should be SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So specific, I was going to strength train 3 times a week by following my favorite YouTube personal trainer, Sydney Cummings. And measurable, that was pretty measurable. You just count how many times. Attainable, definitely. Realistic, yes. And time bound, I was doing it over the month of November. So previously to this, I had been strength training maybe 1 to 2 times a week, focusing mostly on upper body. I had skipped leg day for what felt like 2 years basically. Thanks, COVID. And I had just gotten into this habit where I was almost afraid to train legs because I didn't want to be sore. I didn't want to struggle to get up off the toilet, but I had also been training for my first triathlon, and I was just worried about how any soreness and fatigue in my legs would affect my training, since my goal was triathlon and not anything strength training related. But since I was done with triathlon, at least for the time being, I thought that strength training would be a really great focus. Now, if you are unfamiliar, strength training has just a ton of benefits. It helps you build lean muscle mass, and the more lean muscle mass you have, the more calories you burn, just like sitting talking to your friends. It also is really important as you get older. Fun fact, I'm not so young anymore. I am 40, and so as you get older, without working out, you lose a certain percentage of muscle mass just through aging. And then if you are doing any kind of activity, it's really good for preventing injury and protecting your joints. So back in the day, I did kind of moonlight, so to speak, as a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, and I strength trained all the time. And I really did enjoy it, but just like I said, had fallen out of the habit. So November was my time to do it. And more than anything, my goal was to establish a good habit, stop being scared of training legs. But I would be lying if I said I didn't have some other weight loss aesthetic goals. My goal was to maybe just jumpstart some additional weight loss and maybe finally lose the last 5 pounds. It was also maybe to start seeing a little more definition in my legs. And yeah, I wanted to see my body fat go down, my muscle mass go up. I wasn't looking to get toned. I hate that word, but whatever. Anyway, those were my goals. And when I was talking about measuring, yes, I could strength train 3 times a week. I had also weighed in on an in-body scale, which is available at Complete Health here where I live. I think some GNC stores have them. And so it gives you a lot of data. And so I started the month out by doing that, and I actually finished the month out, but my results were surprising. Yeah, that was super. So I put in more effort and got the complete opposite results. I was like not happy. I believe I made Mark talk to me at least 2 times on his lunch break that day to try to like reason out what happened. And what I decided is this scale that I think is super accurate was a piece of junk that day. Maybe it was possessed by Satan. Maybe there were gremlins in it. Maybe my sweatshirt suddenly weighed 10 pounds. I don't know. I have decided that the scale was wrong. But we have moved on because I'm not like a glass half full kind of person, but I do try to see like what I did right, because the more you focus on what you did wrong, the like downward spiral. So I'm going to share what I learned by strength training 3 times a week, even though I did not get my results. So I felt like my goal was realistic in terms of strength training 3 times a week, but my goal of maybe building muscle might not have been so realistic. So our bodies, unless we do something drastic, like drastic to lose weight or drastic to gain weight, we don't really make a ton of changes in a month. I mean, Weight Watchers recommends that you lose half a pound to 2 pounds a week. So at tops, that's 8 pounds, which depends. If you're super close to your goal, that makes a huge difference. But if you're in the middle of your weight loss journey, it might not feel like that big of a deal. Just as you don't put on 8 pounds in a month unless like something happens, and there are times when things happen. We're sitting in the middle of the holidays. But I had to like remember that big changes actually don't happen in just one fell swoop. It's just consistency over time. And so maybe that wasn't so realistic. But what was really great is I was super consistent. I nailed my 3 times a week for the entire month in November. And then now 2 weeks into December, I'm still doing it. And that is something that I can be really proud of. I like to joke that I am the least fit person that you will ever meet. So by that, I mean, I can lace up my running shoes or like put on my swimsuit and just go low and slow for a long amount of time. I am just built for endurance. But if it comes to walking up the stairs, let me tell you, I'm huffing and puffing. I'm like, what happened? Come on. So there's a lot of exercises, especially as I've gotten away from teaching group fitness and just exercising in a gym, that are really intimidating. So anything with legs, lunges especially. Lunges and I have a long-standing just dislike for each other. Actually, disgust. I like the word disgust. And then things like mountain climbers, planks, anything that is core related has also been really challenging for me. And one of the great things was this challenge is I couldn't just train arms for 3 days a week. I mean, I could, but then that would like have defeated the purpose. So I really embraced like doing the things I disliked. And I'm not magically squatting like 200 pounds. I'm not doing a 10-minute plank, but like this past week, I finally was like, you know what? You can hold a dumbbell while you do a lunge. So that was really great for me. And I also reminded myself that you don't have to like go all out all the time. And so it was really helpful for me to remember like certain modifications. If I can't do a mountain climber, maybe I can do a bird dog or I can do a dead bug, which you should look them up because they are amazing, amazing core stabilization exercises for any level. And that was another thing, like strength training is as hard as you make it. So I can work out really hard by changing my weights, but I can meet myself where I'm at and either modify the range of motion or lower the weights or not use weights, because for most of my leg workouts, I use none except what I weigh. I think there are all times in our lives when we are confronted with the reality that we are stronger than we think. There's a lot of times where we think we can't do something and then like lo and behold, we make it through. And that was something I definitely learned, that I might say that I can't do an exercise, but maybe it's I just can't do it for as long as the instructor or at a high level, but I can still do it. Like I made Mark work out with me once, which was super fun because, again, when it came to like the cardio part, I was like squat jumps and he's like, ugh. But then he's like rapping out push-ups and I'm like, can I lie on the floor and take a nap? But I didn't want to do mountain climbers, but he was doing them and then I felt like I had to do them. And I couldn't do them the whole duration, but I could do them. Now, one thing with any of these challenges, I think it's really important to pay attention to your body. So, fun fact, I hate the Stairmaster. You will never see me on a Stairmaster ever, ever again. And that is because it was super rude to me about 5 years ago when my ego was bigger than my fitness level. And I turned it on too high. And when I went to hit stop, I didn't hit stop. And I basically tweaked my shoulder. And now, like, my right shoulder just gets cranky if I do something. Like, it's healed, but it's just very accident, injury prone, which probably means I should anyway. So my right shoulder might get cranky during some of that stuff, but I can do it. Another thing I learned in the stronger than you think kind of category is I definitely think with things like push-ups, 90% of the time I'm going to modify it to some extent, whether it's doing them against the wall, on tabletop, on my knees. But I actually, for the first time in like a year and a half, did a couple real push-ups, was like, as someone who finds it easier to balance exercise than healthy eating because ice cream, I was definitely like reminded that there's only so much you can do when it comes to exercise to make changes to your body, because most of it, like, to me, in my experience, is diet. Like, I can run a million miles, but if my diet's not there, I'm going to gain weight. And so I was also reminded that with this kind of challenge, yes, I can incorporate strength training and I can want to see certain changes happen, but one thing alone is not going to make the big difference. You have to put a bunch of things together. And I probably was not eating in a way that would change my body composition in terms of muscle mass versus body fat. I would probably have to really focus on protein or even go to like counting macros, which sounds super hard. Like points and can feel hard enough as it is, but like you're in a groove. Like macros is learning something new. And like I said, I'm 40. And the other thing I learned is how much I love those short workouts. Like sometimes you can get caught in a trap that you need to do all the things or work out hard for a like long period of time. But there are quite a few workouts that were just 30 minutes. And I really liked them and I was glad I was incorporating them. And I really enjoyed the sense of pride and satisfaction that I had in completing them and challenging myself. And I will say why I chose Sydney Cummings is because I like how she approaches fitness. I feel like her programs are really well designed and that her message is very positive, because while I might want to make body composition and aesthetic goals, it's still about being strong and taking care of your mental health and doing things that make you feel good. So like I wanted to do this for me, and yes, I had body composition goals, but I wanted to feel that strength again and feel like I could do those things again. And I accomplished that. I definitely think anyone could do a similar challenge, whether it's just 15 minutes or doing half of a workout or just maybe pulling out some exercise tubing. You know, I think the benefits of strength training and doing something for yourself really go a long way. And I think my month of strength training, even if I didn't reach my goals, shows that. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notifications. And until next time, do something you love.